The Zithran fleet emerged from hyperspace with the confidence of a species that had conquered 47 worlds. Their ships, massive and gleaming, cast shadows over Earth's blue surface like predators circling prey. Admiral Vexither watched the primitive planet through his viewport, mandibles clicking in satisfaction. Intelligence reports indicated these humans had barely achieved faster-than-light travel. This would be another easy victory. Katniss Chen sat in the command center of Earth Defense Station Olympus, her fingers dancing across holographic displays. At 28, she was the youngest strategic coordinator in the United Earth Forces, a position she'd earned through brilliance rather than luck. Her dark eyes tracked the alien vessels as they positioned themselves in standard siege formation. "They're following the Kavarian doctrine," she muttered, analyzing their patterns. "Predictable." Beside her, Knox Reardon leaned against the console, arms crossed over his tactical vest. The grizzled combat veteran had seen more action than most soldiers twice his age. His jaw tightened as he watched the enemy fleet. "How long do we play defense?" 6 hours, Katniss replied without hesitation. "That's how long command needs to evacuate the civilian zones and activate Protocol Prometheus." Knox raised an eyebrow. "Prometheus? That's actually real? I thought it was a myth. It was supposed to stay that way." Her voice carried a weight that made Knox's instincts prickle. He'd learned to trust that tone. It meant Katniss knew something that would change everything. The first wave hit at 0600 hours. Zithran fighters screamed through Earth's atmosphere, their plasma cannons tearing through early warning satellites. Cities activated their shield generators, technology reverse-engineered from a crashed alien probe decades ago. The shields held, but barely. Katniss coordinated the defense with surgical precision. She directed Earth's modest fleet to defensive positions, using orbital platforms and satellite networks to create a web of crossfire. It wasn't enough to win, but it bought time. Every minute counted. Knox led the ground forces, positioning anti-air batteries and mobilizing rapid response teams. His earpiece crackled constantly with reports: impacts in Tokyo, fires in Mumbai, shields failing in Sao Paulo. He channeled the chaos into action, trusting Katniss to see the bigger picture while he handled the immediate threats. At R3, Admiral Vexither grew impatient. The humans fought harder than expected, but they were still losing. He ordered the deployment of their ground forces' massive war machines that could level city blocks. The mechs dropped from orbit like meteors, shaking the Earth as they landed. "Knox, they're landing heavy armor in Sector 7. Katniss warned through his comm. "I see them." Knox watched through his binoculars as a 50-foot war machine rose from its crater. Energy weapons charging. "We can't stop those with conventional weapons. You don't have to stop them. Just slow them down." 3 more hours. Knox grinned despite the dire situation. "You're lucky I'm good at improvising." He rallied his forces, using guerrilla tactics that the Zithrans hadn't encountered before. Humans collapsed buildings onto the mechs, lured them into trapped zones, used the urban terrain against technology designed for open warfare. It was messy, costly, but effective. The invasion slowed to a crawl. In orbit, Katniss tracked everything. Her mind worked like a quantum computer, processing thousands of variables simultaneously. She saw patterns in the alien formations, weaknesses in their tactics. They were powerful but rigid, following doctrines perfected over centuries of conquest. They couldn't adapt. Humans, she thought, had always been exceptional at adaptation. R5 arrived with Earth's defenses crumbling. Shield generators overheated and failed. Orbital platforms ran out of ammunition. The Zithrans sensed victory and pressed their advantage. Admiral Vexither allowed himself a rare moment of satisfaction. By nightfall, this planet would be theirs. Then Katniss spoke 3 words that changed the war: activate Protocol Prometheus. Across the globe, hidden facilities burst to life. Massive doors slid open in mountains, deserts, and ocean trenches. What emerged made the Zithran fleet seem almost quaint. Humanity had been preparing for this day since the first telescope pointed at the stars. Every nation, working in secret, had built a true war machine. Not defensive satellites or escort fighters, but weapons designed by a species that had perfected warfare over millennia of fighting itself. The dreadnoughts rose like titans. Each one dwarfed the largest Zithran capital ship. Their weapon systems represented the culmination of human ingenuity: railguns that could pierce any shield, missile systems with eye-driven targeting, energy weapons that made plasma cannons look like flashlights. But the hardware was only part of it. The real weapon was humanity's strategic doctrine, crafted by minds like Katniss Chen. "All ships, commence Operation Reckoning," she commanded, her voice steady as steel. The human fleet moved with coordinated precision that shocked the Zithrans. They split the alien formation, isolated command ships, created kill zones. It wasn't just superior technology, it was superior tactics wielded by a species that understood war on a fundamental level. Nox watched from the ground as human fighters screamed overhead, pursuing retreating Zithran craft. The war machines that had seemed unstoppable hours ago were now fleeing or destroyed. He activated his comm. "Katniss, remind me never to play chess against you." Her laugh came through, tired but triumphant. "Chess is too simple, Nox. I prefer games with higher stakes." In orbit, Admiral Vexither stared in disbelief as his fleet disintegrated. His flagship shuddered under sustained fire. These humans, these primitive, backward humans, had been hiding their true strength. They had let the Zithrans commit fully, learn their tactics, show their capabilities. Then they had struck with overwhelming force. It was brilliant. It was terrifying. "Retreat," Vexither ordered. "All ships, retreat to hyperspace." Only 19 of his original 200 vessels escaped. The invasion had lasted exactly 6 hours. In the command center, Katniss finally allowed herself to relax. Nox appeared on her screen, covered in dust and grinning. "We did it, we did," she agreed. "But Nox, this was just the opening move." "What do you mean?" Katniss pulled up a star map showing Zithran space. "They came here thinking we were easy prey. Now they know we're not. But they'll tell others. The galaxy just learned that humanity doesn't just defend, we win." Nox's grin widened. "So what's next?" Katniss's eyes gleamed with the fire of a strategist who'd just proven her species belonged among the stars. "Next, we make sure they understand what happens when you threaten Earth. We take the fight to them." The invasion had lasted 6 hours. The war, humanity's true introduction to the galaxy, was just beginning. And the universe was about to learn what humans got serious about: survival. They were unstoppable.